After completing The Last of Us Part 1, I was really satisfied with the overall experience. I understand why a lot of people didn't think the game was worth $70, but I personally was able to find a lot about the game that justified its price. And I'm also incredibly biased towards The Last of Us. But I do also believe that this is as far as Sony could possibly go when it comes to remaking/remastering their more recent games. But if this recent news is anything to go by, oh boy, are we in for a world of pain. It's basically all but confirmed that Sony is working on a Horizon Zero Dawn remake, a move that would be so idiotic on the part of Sony that I think it spells out a very dangerous path that they are likely to go down if they aren't careful. Horizon is a game that came out only 5 years ago, and it still looks great and plays very well. So a remake, or I guess a remaster of the game, would be a completely useless endeavor on the part of Sony. I should clarify that there isn't anything inherently wrong with remaking an older game. A remake for a game that's pretty old can, in a lot of cases, make it better, and bring in a lot more fans that may have not liked the original game. A perfect example of this is the Demon's Souls remake that released 2 years ago, a game that was stuck on PS3 hardware and suffered from the problems that came with being a game developed for the PS3. Sony appointed Bluepoint Games at remaking the game and ended up making the definitive version of what I think everyone who wants to get into the Souls genre should experience. It improved the game's performance, fidelity, updated certain things about the art style, and added quality of life changes that improved the game. It was everything the game needed to be and then some. These are the kinds of remakes that Sony should focus on. It would be really great to see Sony bring back games like Resistance, Killzone, and Infamous. Even a game like Bloodborne deserves something of a remaster since it only has a PS4 version and is stuck at 30 frames a second. Sometimes lower. I kinda just want to die. A remake of something like Siphon Filter would make a ton of sense. The original game, while nostalgic for me, has aged incredibly poorly and plays like garbage. A top-notch AAA remake of that game would most likely fix a ton of problems I and many others have with the game nowadays. A game like Resistance Fall of Man would be a really great thing for them to do at this point. I personally think the game hasn't aged all that well, and would be a cool thing to fix some of the issues the original game had. Sony doesn't have any first-party first-person shooters on the market at the moment, and now would be a great time to strike the iron while it's hot. Halo is in a pretty bad spot right now, and if Sony were to have a shooter that could take some of the crestfallen Halo players, that would be really interesting to see. This isn't me trying to bash Halo, by the way, because I'm also a fan of the series. That's why the idea of a Horizon remake just feels like Sony spitting in the face of all the fans that have been supporting them throughout the years. Instead of bringing back games that deserve another chance and are stuck on old hardware, Sony instead chooses to focus on more recent games that don't really need the remake/remaster treatment. Games that already have PS5 upgrades that improve frame rates. Games that still look gorgeous to this day. So what gives? It feels like Sony's strategy is to try and re-release more of their recent games to coincide with the slate of TV shows and movies that they have coming in the future. Next year we have an HBO adaptation of The Last of Us coming out, and what PlayStation remake did we just get a month ago? The Last of Us. They have a God of War show coming out on Amazon, a Twisted Metal show coming to Peacock, a Ghost of Tsushima movie, and a Horizon show coming out of Netflix. So we understand the why now. Sony wants to cross-promote their various IP in order to gain as many new players as possible. But the effort being put into this kind of project is in vain. The games they want to re-release are the wrong ones. I can't wait for them to re-release Ghost of Tsushima in 2 years when the movie comes out and it runs at 75 FPS and has a 1900p resolution. Thanks, Sony. If Sony keeps going down this road of remaking newer games when they have absolutely no reason for a refresh, then we'll be seeing this kind of practice for a while. We're starting to see a Sony that's taking safer and safer bets when it comes to their output. A lot of their games are starting to follow the same template. A lot of their future projects are going to be live service games, and the remakes of recent games, while a stupid and wasteful opportunity, will definitely be profitable. If we go by the sales of The Last of Us Part 1, we can tell that this experiment was a success, and will prompt Sony to keep doing this until the cash stops flowing. The only way we can make Sony stop doing this is by simply not buying the game when it releases. I really miss the days of when Sony was willing to take more risks when it came to the different kinds of games they would make themselves, or the developers they would partner with to release their games. Demon's Souls is a game that current-day Sony would never touch if the Souls genre didn't already exist. They would probably think it's too weird and inaccessible. The days of them taking risks and experimenting with new ideas seem to be over. I wish to see them go back to how they used to greenlight projects, but I guess we'll just have to be patient and hope for the best. Hey guys, thanks again for watching the video, it really means a lot to me. Just wanted to take a quick second and talk about a couple of things before the video ends. First off, I wanted to personally thank everybody who has subscribed to the channel over the past couple of weeks. The growth has been pretty wild to witness, but it's also very exciting. So thank you guys for that. I wanted to give a quick shout out to some of the people in the comments who have been very supportive. Stembear, You Messed Up, Snowman, I Am Stempy, and Mystic Wolf 510. Thanks for watching the content and leaving comments on the videos. That shit keeps me motivated. I also wanted to keep you guys updated on what videos I got for y'all in the coming weeks. So this week I'll be starting work on the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 video, and I'll also be starting the script for the next part of the Walking Dead Telltale series. After that, it's a little unclear if the schedule for my videos will remain the same since I will be moving, but I will try my best to get something out for you guys in the meantime. The next big video after the MW2 video will most likely be a video on God of War Ragnarok because I'm super excited for that game and hope it turns out really good. As for the Q&A, I haven't really gotten a ton of questions on the 100 subscribers video, so I'm extending the gap in time a little, and I invite anybody who might have a question for me to put it in the comments section of this video. So I hope to see some more questions. Last thing. I probably put my tag in front of the video, but I do have a Twitter and I do post on there quite often, so go ahead and give me a follow on there. I'll be posting updates on videos and just generally fucking around on there. Anyways guys, thanks again for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the Call of Duty video. Stay safe and have a good one.